Greetings, everybody. Thank you so much for joining me. I'm Tyler Ellison, and I'm with my amazing friend Starshine from the Sassani universe. Starshine, how is it going?
Very good, as always. Super excited to be here with you guys. Yeah, I can't wait to see what questions everyone has for Ryoka. As you guys know, we're also doing an event next week, which I'm sure Tyler and Ryoka will tell you more about. So yeah, just super excited to get back into it.
Absolutely. The event that we're having next week, it is going to be at this time, a little bit before this time, approximately 1 p.m. That's Eastern time for the US. And this is Serpentine Secrets, where we are going to be getting into the underground story of reptilian beings and many of the myths and legends connected to them. This is connected to the entities, sometimes referred to as Nagas. And there is also a strong connection to ancient hybridization programs that also have a subtle relevance in the cosmic narrative to this day. So we'll be getting into all of that this upcoming Friday, 7 days. So mark your calendars because this is going to be very deep. And if you are interested in this topic and you're interested in how these different groups, human and otherwise, work together to create systems that we still interface with, then this is going to be a very insightful transmission. In our channeling today, I'll be going into the state, bringing Ryoka forth, and he's going to be sharing some opening information. He usually has messages, teachings that he will detect are resonant for the audience. So once he has delivered all of this, we will then move into the Q&A section. So in the Q&A section, you are able to type your question out. You can do that in the YouTube chat. Starshine will be using the magical power that she possesses to detect the most epic of questions that will produce really fabulous answers and eye-opening moments for people. And this is the case every time. Each time we do these streams, questions we have not been brought before are asked. We get all types of new insights for our living library of Alexandria all the time in these Q&As. So you all have made that possible. Thank you for coming and supporting this, because good channeling is not just a person practicing, it's also the audience being able to not only receive the information, but through their own evolution, help to up level it. So this is a fabulous co-creation, and I will let Ryoka do the rest. I'll see you guys at the end. Have a fabulous time. Well, we thank you all for joining us for this ecstatic co-creative interaction that we share with one another this here, this now. It is a time of great shifting, a time of great transformation. It is happening for many in the background. For those of you that are learning to blend the conscious and subconscious, it is happening in the foreground. As you are evolving, you become more conscious quite naturally of the myriad of different processes that are usually taking place behind the scenes. Empathy is an expression of this. Introspection, self-awareness is an expression of this. Learning to see from the collective viewpoint, from the perspective of the Earth's magnetic field, able to behold all beings simultaneously as one. This is a natural level within your collective human evolutionary experience. As you become more in sync with your signature frequency, you embody naturally, effortlessly, the age-old saying, the age-old instruction of know thyself. Remember, there is only the self. When you know thyself, you will know the other. You know the other through sharing your gifts, following your passion, moving into physical reality, transforming the physicality into a higher dimensional expression of physicality through the channeling of the light that comes forth as an emanation from that signature frequency that you are. And as you share your gifts, the light that is emanated from this carries with it the intelligent program, the intelligent design that is the scaffolding of your unique geometry in sync with the source of all sources. And as that light begins to hybridize with the reality of the other, it naturally awakens and reminds them of their signature frequency. And it is as if those around you begin to glow. To make this so, be bold. To make this so, be not afraid. To make this so, be willing to be vulnerable. To make this so, remember that those around you behave because of the reasons, the belief system constructs that they have consciously and unconsciously selected and or been given. Remember that there are many levels to your mind. There are sometimes in your psychological understandings 3 dimensions to which you call physical mind. You have the idea of conscious mind. You have the idea of subconscious. And you can create, if you wish, another category, a deeper level of the subconscious, sometimes referred to as the unconscious. Conscious mind, which you are aware of, which you notice. And with conscious mind, you can notice subconscious and unconscious. As conscious mind becomes more empowered by your increasing awareness. Subconscious mind relates to the programs, the ideas, the conditions that are subtly imparted by parents, mentors, peers, media, things like this. So the conditioning of the upbringing is usually found within subconscious. When you go into unconscious, now you are working with ancestral belief systems, ancestral programs, and the belief system constructs that the body spirit itself has taken on. All of this can be discovered by conscious mind. All of these. You have in your left and right hand the tools needed to chisel, to sculpt, to mold. Remember that in your process of self-discovery, you will find you are the source in disguise. You are already, in that sense, perfect. You are already, in that sense, complete as a source expression. And with that awareness, one of the things that can occur is a recognition of misalignment coupled with the validation of its presence, acknowledging that even the misalignment is serving a purpose in its own perfect way, even if you call it misaligned. For if it's misaligned energy, and if it were to be aligned, well, it wouldn't necessarily be true to its nature. So things are perfect as they are. Even if it's a negative thing, it's a perfect expression of that negative subject. You see, validating the perfection of it will immediately make that subject a puzzle piece that fits into the picture. Once that is understood, and once that is seen, then it becomes easy to work with those tools to transform the relationship with such a subject, causing the manifestation of the subject to transform, sometimes in a few days, sometimes overnight, sometimes instantaneously. You are evolving past physicality. It is very crucial that all beings that identify as human understand this. Your senses as a collective will begin to turn on. We have mentioned previously in our transmissions that one of the foreshadowings of contact shall be an increase in the psychic awareness of the human being, allowing for the human being to perceive a myriad of different forms of multidimensional life. This is happening now on your world. There will be an increase in the awareness of multidimensionals. Elementals will likely be first, and they are much closer to many of you than you think. Angelics and their opposite for some may be revealed as something that acts as a catalyzer, as a form of awakening. In other words, if someone has an unconscious relationship with more dark themed beings, they may actually begin to perceive those beings because the conscious mind will be able to see into the subconscious. Subconscious is not just the conditioning. Subconscious also stores your dream memories, what you're up to on the astral plane, what you're up to behind the scenes. And many of you are very busy honeybees. Even though to you, it seems like you're just sitting in a room. Even now, if you like, begin to ponder what your multidimensional self is up to as we gather, and you'll begin to receive visions. You'll begin to see images and feelings that are the resonant signal reflecting to you the quality of that multidimensional experience. Because conscious mind is becoming more empowered, those relationships that are called the spiritual team, spiritual guide relationships, these will be seen. And this is why there are many spiritual teachers on your world at this time. This is why there are many people like yourselves whom are, whether you know it or not, spiritual teachers through your example, through your life path. And you are here to help others contextualize the experiences that they have. And as this level of the contact experience is stabilized, it will then set the stage for those that come from the stars. And we now invite you, children of the stars, children of Earth, to engage with us in a Q&A dialogue. You may begin at your leisure.
Hello, friend. It's good to see you once
It
more.
is very good to see you as well. Thank you for sharing your experiences on the multidimensional level. You are helping all whom are here to feel the connection that is the contact connection.
Thank you so much.
You are welcome.
So with that, yeah, let's get started. The first question is, can you speak on birds? Are they messengers from the non-physical, such as crows or ravens?
There are many expressions of avian consciousness, and when you see the physical avians of your world, the birds of your world, imagine that there is a bubble around them. And around that bubble, another. Around that one, another. And see that this bubble is the third eye of a larger avian. Just like humans, there are different levels of consciousness. There are certain species of avian that are quite evolved, and those bigger layers of the aura for them are awakened. For some that are incredibly evolved and have had a powerful relationship to human esoterica and magic, energy work, these types of avians have that massive spirit body where their physical body is simply the third eye. So, some birds will sing pretty songs. Some birds will not just sing beautiful songs, but they will also sing a beautiful song at the right time for the right person to convey a message from the multidimensional realm. So there are avians that are a part of massive collective entities. Humanity has symbolized for aeons ascended consciousness with avian consciousness. So those birds that have these multidimensional layers of their aura activated are synchronized with the human ascended masters whom remain in the multidimensional spaces surrounding your planet as an aura. And the ascended masters guide from behind the scenes. And those birds that are resonant with them, who have that multidimensional body active, are the ones whom are able to perceive that flow of information. And because of their spiritual intelligence and knowledge, they're able to surf it and ride it and deliver the information in a way that communicates significance to the human being.
Great, thank you so much.
You are very welcome.
This is an interesting question. Is our gut feeling about a topic usually correct, our first gut feeling?
There is a great deal of information that is transmitted in a gut feeling, and it can be relied upon as an indication that perhaps there is either alignment or misalignment depending on the quality of the gut feeling. If something in your gut feels very good, that is an instinctual dimension of you that is tuned into goodness over time. All of the times the ancestors had goodness, that instinctual mind is aware of it. All the times the ancestors were suffering, something was misaligned in that way, and suffering ensued from the reaction to the misalignment, that is also detected by the intestinal mind. So it is able to see very objectively alignment, misalignment. One of the things to be aware of is these minds, upper mind, middle mind, lower mind. They have different evolutionary paths. Remember what you call upper mind, newer. And language, one of its newest installations. Most people have an identity based on language. And because they do not understand the body communication clearly, one of the things that may happen is they get the gut reaction, but they choose not to listen to it because they say, oh, things look a certain way externally. I need to go off of appearances, social niceties, instead of what my gut's telling me. And as a result, they may put that awareness of the intestinal mind down. But the intestinal mind, it bypasses language completely. It will detect alignment and misalignment very easily, especially if you take care of your intestines, especially if you have good intestinal health. It will be able to detect very, very well. Think of it like a snake, the intestines as a coiled serpent. Very similar, yes? This is a symbol indicating the subtle sensitivities of the intestinal mind. So gut instincts, when you detect them, validate them, recognize them, take note of them. It's not deception. Take note of them. Your conscious mind will have to pay attention to other cues and other signals within that situation, within that relationship, that help to contextualize more clearly to conscious mind the nature of what the intestinal mind detected. So this usually is done in hindsight after the person has had an interaction with the subject that their intestinal mind informed them about. They can reflect upon the experience. They can reflect upon the other person's behavior if it involves another person. They can reflect upon perhaps the implications of a choice if they had the gut reaction in a decision-making process. So usually in hindsight, the message of the gut mind is understood. As you become more in sync with yourself, and especially as you become more in sync with others, you're going to be able to not only feel into the situation, but your conscious mind's going to be able to contextualize more easily what's going on. It will take balance because it's like learning a new language. Most people now have a type of forced verbal orientation in terms of communication. But remember, you are communicating with electromagnetic frequencies, you are communicating with pheromones, you are communicating with subtle energies, you are communicating with body language, you are communicating with your eyes. There are all types of levels of communication conscious mind has not been trained to understand. But intestinal mind knows. So it can be relied upon. Use your discernment and open-mindedness. Be curious to understand what intestinal mind is indicating.
Wonderful, thank you.
You are welcome.
Up next, how can we best connect to the Tau Ceti beings?
By meditating upon their star system primarily. So know where it's positioned in the night sky. If there is visibility and you can see it, even if it's cloudy, if it's above you, that is the green light to begin interactions. So when meditating upon the celestial body, simply begin to imagine that there is a vortex of energy coming to you. Remember that stars spiral and pulse and breathe, and within the core of the star is a stellar magician. There is a being within the center of each star. All of the stars are individuals, yet operate as a collective. You would understand it as a high fifth density expression on the lower level, a high sixth density expression in terms of the upper levels of stellar consciousness. When you get into things like galactic cores, now you are working with the eighth density. Stellar cores have, as you know, primordial stars and black holes spinning together like a Tai Chi wheel. So when you think of the stars, they're thinking of you. All things are connected. So just us having this conversation here is activating that connection. It's activating the awareness. Know what the star looks like. Know what the constellation looks like. Get used to visualizing it. When you close your eyes, do a grounding practice underneath of the stars. Have tree roots extending down from your body, anchoring you into the earth. This is going to give you a bigger battery so your aura can cool off the starlight and absorb the energy. Step one, after this grounding has been done, see the star to the best of your ability physically. With your eyes closed, have your eyes rolled up and see the star in your mind's eye. Make it so the constellation, the star, is both outside of you and inside of you. This is going to cause total resonance, and because of the tree roots, the resonant effect will also entangle with your environment. So you're creating a bubble reality. If you're looking for contact, bubble realities are essential. So with the bubble reality from the tree roots, the star connection seen externally and seen internally. From this stage, simply imagine that there is a vortex of light coming to you. It comes to your third eye. And as it makes contact with the third eye, simply breathe to the third eye, have the tongue tip up, and the energy will come down your front channel. It will go naturally down. It will go right past the heart and lungs into your intestinal mind. Piggybacking off of the last question, this is one of the ways to bring awakening to intestinal mind and to what is sometimes described as lower self. So with the tongue tip up, the starlight comes in. And as you are taking the light in, you'll feel it. Let yourself rock, let yourself move. You may find that if you become very aware of the aura, your aura will start to entangle with the spiraling of the star. And let yourself spin with the star. This is creating total resonance. And it is also causing the aura of the environment to rotate with you. So you can rock, you can rotate. Let yourself go into a trance through the movement. And let all thoughts leave. Become empty in that way. You'll start to see inner light. You may start to hear an inner sound. And from here, have in your mind's eye a magical symbol of preference. This could be a 5-pointed star, could be a 6-pointed star, it could be a Tai Chi symbol, could be your own channeled symbol for these beings. But see that symbol and use a word of power. This could be your magical name. This could be simply Tao Seti. That counts. You can use that. Activate the symbol and see that the symbol acts as a portal, and see that a being manifests. Stabilize them first in your mind's eye before you attempt to see them externally. If you want to see them externally, let them become stable in this visualization first. As within, so without. The idea is once they are stable in your mind's eye, you can begin to interact with them telepathically. Information will come through. And if you want them to manifest, as you are sharing the telepathic connection, use your breath to send them the chi of the physical reality and see that they're becoming denser in your mind's eye. Instead of the air coming out when you exhale, see that it goes into the image of them. And they're getting stronger. Feel that as they get stronger, not only are they becoming more physical, the world they represent is becoming more physical. And in your mind's eye sense, this is happening in this space. And when it feels nearly physical, this is when you can begin to slightly open your eyes. And as you perfect this relationship, there will be a moment where you open your eyes and they are there. So this is a way to initiate the contact with the beings of Tao Seti. If it sounds advanced, break it down into steps, easy steps, like a cooking recipe. Practice it. You can auto-record your voice, and you can play that recording as a guided meditation to get proficient in the steps. This will work. And this is not the first time such methods have been used on your world.
It's amazing. Thank you.
You are welcome.
Up next, it has been said that there are planets in our own solar system which have not yet been discovered. What can you share about this?
There are at least 3 planets within the solar system that have not been discovered. One of them was described by your ancients as a second Earth, sometimes called an anti-Earth. There are some planets you must be in the right vibrational state to perceive. When we talk about there being many versions of Earth, we mean this in a few ways. There are infinite versions of the planet you call Earth. And there are also other Earths that entangle with what you perceive to be your version of the cosmos, what you perceive to be your version of a solar system. These planets have a high degree of multidimensional power. This means to some they can be observed psychically. In some instances, they can be perceived physically. And as your version of Earth becomes more resonant with that one, it then manifests as an observable phenomenon. So this is the case with multidimensional planets. This is one of the reasons why they can avoid detection, because you have different versions of your solar system. You have different versions of your cosmos. It depends on the vibrational state you're in. That determines the selection. And yes, there are beings on that other Earth, and they have achieved contact. And they transmit the success to your planet. So you may also follow in the footsteps.
Okay, great. That sounds very exciting. Thank you.
You are welcome.
So there are a couple of questions about channeling. Can you share some tips on how to learn to channel?
Recall that you are channeling electricity through your body at all times. Recall you are channeling blood through your veins. Recall you channel air through your lungs, nose. You're already channeling. If you are not tuned into those forces, now is a good time to tune in. To be unaware of those forces is to resist the natural channeling state. So know your natural channeling state is step one. Have a powerful, loving relationship with your breath, the flow of your blood and the beat of your heart, the flow of electricity and chi moving through your body. Know these things. It will make your journey all the more delightful. To not know these things and to channel is to send a flare into the darkness of the night with a blindfold on. So know these sensations so you can detect subtle energy. Subtle energy detection within your body and around you, step one. Step two is the performance of your craft. Is your channeling spoken? If it is, study communication. Write poetry, write fiction. Get used to public speaking. Get used to saying things physical you wouldn't normally say. If it's writing, well, write fiction, write poetry, research a complex topic, learn it, and then write it as if you were teaching it to someone else. If your channeling craft is dancing, well, take some dancing classes. If it is music, know how to play the instrument. So step two, level two, is have the form of expression, a form that you are familiar with, a form that you are confident in, or are at least increasing your confidence in. Step three, this is where you put it all together. This is creating the psychic link, the psychic connection to the being. This involves energy work and visualization. The processes that different channelers utilize will vary from channel to channel to channel. In general, you can use archetypal symbolism to greatly assist in the building of the energy link. Two, activate a higher awareness of the guide, envision them above the body. You can see them at the top of the universe and see that they are bringing light down. Let the light enter, let it move through you. When you're saturated with their energy, begin. Begin before you feel ready. You may not feel 100% comfortable, 100% confident. You might feel insecure. You might say, am I going to do this right? Am I going to mess it up? Do it anyway. And when you do it, express as the being hit the ground running. Let it be a complete personality shift into the personality of the channeled entity. Immediate. This type of shift can be challenging for those who have strong attachments to the mask. You have to be willing to let go of yourself to receive more of yourself, the guide and extension and expression of that greater level. These are the basics. When finished, gather the energy, store it inside. We usually describe it in the orb of light method. Bring all of the energy from the channeling, all of the connection into the belly button, and see an orb of light overlaid upon the intestines between belly button and spine. And see that this orb of light holds the experience from the channeling. And this will encourage your body to learn channeling in the background, you see. If you just stop and end it, well, the energy is in the room. It's sort of all over the place. So you gather it within you into an orb, into a unified form, and you tell it, increase my power as a channeler, increase my success as a channeler, increase my omniscience, my ability to receive this information, and erase, dissolve, remove the insecurities, doubts, and fears that act as obstacles to that flow. Thank you for encouraging my channeling ability and my healthful relationship with my spiritual guide and team. Say this into the orb. You can do it in your mind. And when you're finished, break down the energy environment. There are certain things we have not said here. This is enough for someone to start practicing, but this is not complete instruction. Complete instruction requires training, which we train people in the art of channeling frequently. It will be taught by us whilst we are with the channel in Japan. So there are other techniques that can be implemented. The final technique, once you have stored the energy, dissolve, break down the magical space. So that way the space does not act as a portal whilst you are out running errands or something. Yes. So break down the space. It will return to a normal space. And then when you want to channel again, repeat the process. Ideally, channel in the same location, same place when you are beginning. You'll build a relationship with that space. You can have spiritual objects near you as you do this. They will accumulate the channeling energy. And you'll have all of these triggers that help you to become a powerful channeler through this. So space curation is also quite important.
Thank you.
You are welcome.
Up next, did the reptilians assist the Anunnaki and donate to the human avatar?
Absolutely, yes. And we're going to be getting into this next Friday of your time. But most certainly, yes, they are master geneticists. So the most ancient of them are like stem cells. They can become anything. They have a type of DNA that can take on all types of phenotypic expressions. And this is why reptilians are oftentimes associated with shapeshifters. And there are those on your planet who possess this ability. It is a connection to some very ancient DNA. Remember that there have been many hybrids, including human-reptilian hybrids, that in ancient times acted as the reptilian ambassadors. So there is an ongoing relationship. In our transmission keys to the Anunnaki, we described that when Anunnaki began to withdraw, they left certain beings to carry on certain agendas. Reptilians are some of those beings. The human hybrid avatars, surface helpers who carry out the agenda. In ancient times, the connection was known. Modern times, there is less awareness. So even though the connection is there and information can be transferred and communicated. The conscious recognition of it for many is absent. And this is just the tip of the iceberg.
Sounds very exciting.
Oh, yeah.
Up next, can you speak on the different kinds of governments that exist in the galaxy that are very different from the ones we have on Earth?
A very interesting one can be observed in the Pleiades. So it is councils within councils within councils within councils, each council getting a little smaller in size. It is similar to your ancient idea of a monarchy in a certain way. The only difference is that all members of the council are seen as royalty, kings and queens. So think of councils of rulers, kings and queens. What are rulers? Ones whom create reality. They make the measurements. The measurements are the definitions. So you're all rulers. So it is a council within a council within a council. And within the very center point, all of those councils, there is a collective consciousness that acts as a representative for the 7 Pleiadian sisters and the mysterious 8th one. And as a single entity, they review all of the telepathic information and they share their perspective. And it creates throughout those series of councils expressions of gnosis. You might call it a cosmic aha moment, if that word is new to you. It creates that effect, and they are able to see their own version of how to apply that information to assist in resolving whatever the challenge or issue may be. And because it is coming from a collective mind, the power of the synchronistic effect is multiplied. So all of these different expressions of the same instructions are carried out, and it results in a complete multi-dimensional manifestation. And this is how many dimensions of Pleiadian society are organized.
Wonderful, thank you.
You are welcome.
Up next, how can we cultivate a form of hope that is rooted in truth and soul alignment rather than escapism or projection?
So, there are many ways to answer this. Hope can seem like a golden rope if a person is in despair. If they can grab that rope, pull themselves up, hope is very useful. But if a person is chasing hope from a disempowered state, it might as well be hopium, you see? Becomes this thing they're always chasing. I need to be hopeful. I need to be happy. I need to be all of these things. Why am I not these things? I'm suffering. What's going on? That is what multiplies the suffering. The chasing of the good from a place of disempowerment while one is suffering can multiply the suffering. So, with sufferings, with the situations that intimidate you, that scare you, that confuse you, validate that they are what they are. I'm scared. I'm anxious. I'm insecure. Just validate that. Own it. When you own what the negative label is, you will be in a state of empowerment. Many people will say, I can't say those things about myself. Law of attraction says, I'll curse myself. You'd have to be a psychopath to do that to yourself. So if you're anxious, own it. And once you own it, you can change it. Anxiety and excitement, very similar. So be willing to flip it like that. It's the same neural pathways. It's just a different script. So all you have to do when you are anxious is say to yourself, I wonder what would it feel like if I were excited. It will shift like that. If you find that you are angry, you're moving too fast, you are not breathing. And you are also zoomed into the situation. So zoom out. If you are depressed, you cannot move, you're laying around, no motivation, do so without your technology. And with every breath that you take, slow down and feel your heartbeat. Your heartbeat will re-energize you. It will remind you of your song. The vibration will shake off shackles of depression. When you hope for something outside of you to change without making the changes inside, it is like hopium. So make the changes within. Remind yourself of your power. Be hopeful in your inner success. Grab that golden rope. You're right here, your center channel. Go right into yourself. Have that hope within. And the hope will turn into a confidence. You don't have to hope it will work. You know it will work. So how to remind yourself of this? You may notice the suggestions that were given are suggestions that are designed to bring you to yourself. You are the source of the miracle. You are the door that the miracle enters through into physical reality. Physical you may say, I'm the miracle? You gotta be kidding me. If you're not, please explain to me how you exist, because that's awfully miraculous. You cannot even explain what you are, how you are. You are a miracle. So hope is good, and it can assist you in gaining that momentum. In order for you to hope for something good to happen, what is very helpful is to buy into the belief system that there are beings greater than yourself whom are sending good things to you. Buy into that. Because if that's not the case, well, being hopeful might be not necessarily the best choice then. Because if it's not a loving universe and there's negative things controlling everything, well, where's the room for the hope? Be pointless. So it's your belief system you must review. It will help you here. Buy into that idea, the universe, the creator of the universe, the avatar of the universe that you are. Not only loves all unconditionally, but is an expression of unconditional love. And this will help you. Use hope as a stepping stone and remind yourself of what is true. And your hope will be stronger. You'll be able to grab the rope. So validation of the shadow whilst validating the perfection, even in the misalignment. You got the rope. And now the hope can be used to pull oneself up, and it will turn into confidence as you stabilize. Confidence meaning with faith. The next level is faith.
Thank you. That's some solid advice right there.
Thank you for the question.
Up next, how can we best protect ourselves from negative entities?
By recognizing that you too have a shadow, and that to you, the shadow may translate as negative entities. When there is something in the shadow, remember we talked about two levels to you that are not conscious, subconscious and unconscious. When there are energies within the shadow that are not processed and they are allowed to remain as they are, sometimes those energies can accumulate power and they begin to personify as a dark influence. And if that energy is not dealt with, it can get strong enough to resonate with what you would call an external entity that is perhaps more of a negative influence. So it is the inner demons that resonate with the outer ones, you see. So it is the transformation of the shadow complexes, the shadow belief systems within. This is key. And not all negative entities that one perceives are an external one. In many instances, it's their own aura projecting that shadow archetype. So when they attempt to destroy it or something like this, they're actually doing that to their own energy a little bit. So with these things that are darker, there is a quote in your Buddhist tradition. We'll paraphrase it here. Summon your demons and serve them tea. What does it mean to summon your demons? Face your shadow. What is the negative entity that plagues you? What does it trigger within you? What is it bringing up within you that's not random? What's the fear that it activates? What's the anxiety that it activates? And get in touch with those things. It wouldn't be scaring you unless there was something you're scared of. So work with your subconscious, your unconscious, get in touch with these things. If one is using the perspective, I'm a perfect being and I do no wrong and I'm just being attacked and there's nothing that I have to do with it. I'm just being oppressed because of my power and my divinity and all of this. This is a stepping stone perspective. Do not remain there. Do not remain there, or the reality will not be enjoyable. So there are certain experiences of reality where, for whatever reason, the energy practitioner's presence is not seen as auspicious, and there are beings that perhaps don't want them there. But that is one reality, and that will only manifest if the individual that we're describing here in the example also shares the belief system that they shouldn't be here. So it's a stepping stone. Move past it. Remember, you are a source. There is a saying in ancient Taoism, and the saying is, when humans invented language, the demons trembled with fear. Because if you can name something, it implies ownership. And if it's yours, well, you could do what you want with it. And this is the secret behind invocational magic. So there are many ways to work with your shadows. Transform your shadows so you can be, in your sense of reality, a being of light within a living world of light, playing dress up as a physical expression. That is imperative. And in terms of the entities, they just want energy. Send them an offering. You'd be surprised what happens if you just give them a little light and send them on their way. And think of the light as serving them tea. And if you really want to know the shadow and these beings, the channel has brought forth the sacred Serpentine sanctuary, where this direct topic is explored directly.
Thank you so much.
You are so welcome.
So perhaps this will be a good last question for us. What do we have to look forward to in the next 2 years in our society as a collective?
Well, we are describing in today's transmission the multidimensional awakening. So people on your planet from this point on are going to be experiencing a high increase of supernatural phenomenon, which is really metaphysical phenomenon. So there will be awarenesses of beings like cryptids. There will be awarenesses of elemental beings. There will be an increase in the discovery of new sacred sites. Very ancient. It is probable it is going to reshape the collective narrative. There is a high probability that many in the archaeological community will actually gather together to discuss the findings. It is also probable that within this 2-year period, not only will amazing things be found within your Earth, but amazing things will manifest in your skies. We have described that your skies are, of course, entangled with your Earth's electromagnetic field, as well as the etheric field that contains the various multidimensional energies, sometimes described as the 5 elements and the influences of the 7 planets. All of those ingredients combined with the awakening of the human heart activates portals. Portals will appear. Beings will come through. Craft will come through. There will be a great increase and uptick in UFO, unidentified aerial phenomenon, UAP, and they will become more elaborate. They will become more sophisticated. They will become more bold. As humans integrate this, humans will become like the energies they're integrating. And as such, telepathic messages will begin to be sent in a way that is a little more obvious. You can look forward to these things. And of course, you have your inner vision board. Be looking forward at this. What is the image you hold in your subconscious? Right now, there's an image. Get in touch with that image and use the symbols of the paradise utopian version of Earth as your inner image. And in the background, carry that with you. Let that image be an auric organizer. So you may experience in your version of Earth that which is described in a way that is more personal for you. We thank you all for these wonderful questions. It is always a delightful experience to share this information and to emanate our love, our light, and to see the goodness and the glory that comes as our energy fields interact. Our light multiplied with your light multiplied with our light, twinkling together as a living constellation. We thank you, beings of light and children of heaven and earth. Okay, everybody, thanks so much for coming. These were great questions and really elaborative answers. Hope you all enjoyed yourself and really, really insightful things. I think we all got a lot of practical information for how we can achieve some of those goals that we've had, be those physical goals, improving our relationships, improving our decision making, or more cosmic goals, summoning beings from Tau Ceti. There's a lot going on here. And thank you for bringing such wonderful color to our channeling today. Starshine, always a pleasure. Thanks for doing this. And so happy we get to meet up on Fridays and share all this information.
Definitely. Thanks, Tyler. Thanks, Ryoka. And thanks to all of you for submitting your beautiful questions.
We will see you all next week for Serpentine Secrets. And the tickets for this are on the galacticguide.com.